Hello folks, shintigercurl here, that dude in the straw hat, bringing you yet another awesome video. It is Sunday night, July 19th. So you know what that means? It's time for some pay-per-view wrestling. What pay-per-view, you might ask? Why, WWE Battleground. Now, a little confession here. I did kind of split my time and attention between Battleground and another pay-per-view. Not another pay-per-view, another event. For those of you in the know, tonight is the last day of Evo, or um, the Evolution tournament, which is the biggest fighting game tournament in the entire world. And the finals today have just been epically epic. And right now, the Ultra Street Fighter 4 finals are still going on. So hopefully I can knock this out quickly and get back to it. But if you've missed Evo this year, just check out some of the various highlight videos from either Maximilian Dude or Acid Glow or from the Level Up series, or pretty much anyone who knows anything about FGC. Just look it up. It's there. See some good stuff. The Killer Instinct finals were hyper. So anyway, let's get to the pay-per-view. Let me grab my notes real quick. First, we open up, of course, with the pre-show. Starting off with the only pre-show match on the card, Wade Barrett versus R-Truth in a Battle for the Crown match. This was a passable event. I mean, they did a good job, but it shouldn't have been so close as to where it seemed like R-Truth was a threat, because R-Truth should not be in anywhere near the league of Wade Barrett. He was in the King of the Ring tournament, but he lost. So this whole storyline this puts Wade Barrett on the verge of being Billy Gunned, if I could say so. For those of you who don't know, Billy Gunn was a previous King of the Ring winner. Winning the King of the Ring is supposed to signify a new era in your career, either jump-starting it or reigniting it. Look at guys like, most famous examples being Bret Hart, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, Edge, Brock Lesnar. William Regal had a pretty good run as King of the Ring. But of course, Billy Gunn, the first thing he does after winning the King of the Ring, he jobs to The Rock. So yeah, this is what I mean when I say he's going to get Billy Gunned. He wins the match, but it's just a shame that he was reduced to this. So hopefully they can pull him out of this, because Wade Barrett deserves a lot better. We go for the show proper with Sheamus versus Randy Orton. From what I saw, this was a very solid opener. These two always seem to work well together. Nice back and forth between the two of them. In the end, though, Randy Orton pulls out the victory with a nice little RKO out of nowhere. So this was good for an opener. Next up, the Douche Day, or the New Day, versus the Primetime Players for the tag team titles. I liked this match, mostly because I love both of the teams involved. I love the Douche Day, or I call them the Douche Day. I love them very, very much, and more so since I discovered a little YouTube channel called Up, Up, Down, Down. Look it up. It's basically Xavier Woods, or Austin Creed as he goes by in the videos, just playing video games with his friends, including Kofi Kingston, Jimmy Uso, Heath Slater, a few guys from the production staff, and more recently, Rusev. That's right, Rusev playing Street Fighter 4. It is as awesome as it sounds. But yeah, this was a great match. I liked it. I'm still gushing over the tag team division in the WWE being revitalized. And although I like the New Day, I knew the PTP were going to take it, because this is their first title defense since their pay-per-view title defense, and they deserve to retain it. So hopefully this is another start of another feud between PTP and the Douche Day, because they have such great chemistry working together. So here's hoping we see more of that. Next up, Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt. A lot of people, particularly a few people on the CBR wrestling forums, do not like this matchup because they think it's boring. I myself like the matchup because at least it's not Roman Reigns versus The Big Show, or Roman Reigns versus Kane, or Roman Reigns versus any other big dude in the WWE. At least it's putting them together with a feud that is more than just, I'm big, you're big, let's fight. No, this was more of a psychological duel, with Roman facing off for the first time against an opponent since his solo career started, that he can't really just punch his way through, who's more cunning and manipulative than he's used to dealing with. And we saw a lot of that tonight. The match itself was average, nothing very bad or nothing overly spectacular. It was what it was. The interesting thing comes at the end of the match when Roman starts throwing chairs in the middle of the ring, and then out of nowhere, a hooded individual. We know it's Luke Harper. Of course, we're gonna know it. Only Luke Harper is that big and has a beard that big. It's Luke Harper, and he gives him a nice little side kick, which knocks him out. Bray throws him back in the ring, gives him a nice little Sister Abigail, and pins him. 1, 2, 3. And then it's revealed that the hooded individual is Luke Harper, which we all knew. So you know what this means? The Wyatts are back together. Although Eric Roman is currently out with an injury, but he would have been there more than likely. So get well, Owen. Get well, Rowan. We need you. We need the family back. But yeah. Next up, a just announced match tonight. Earlier in the night, Sexy Power, aka Stephanie McMahon, announced that tonight will be a triple threat Divas match with a representative from each of the 3 participating factions in the Divas roster because she wants to see the revolution happen. So if you don't know what the factions are, of course, there's the Bella faction between the Bella twins and Alicia Fox. Then there's the Paige faction with Paige, Charlotte, and Becky Lynch. And of course, there's the now named BAD faction, Beautiful and Deadly, made up of Naomi, Tamina Snuka, and the NXT Women's Champion, the Boss, Sasha Banks. So the representatives, originally it was going to be Nikki, but she chickened out because she's a Bella. They do this kind of shit. For her sister Brie to face off against Charlotte and Sasha Banks. This was perhaps the best Divas match on the main roster this year. Mainly because of the new blood that has been introduced and injected into Divas division. No longer are we having women who are settled for just being passable in the ring, that just want to put on a great match. And this was a great match. The crowd was into it. I was into it. I was hooked in my seat, mostly because of Charlotte and Sasha Banks. Brie was just kind of there. She tried to do some moves, not to saying that she was superfluous, but it was clear that the level of skill between Sasha and Charlotte was a lot higher than than Brie. Now, granted, Brie, well, the Bellas have gotten better in the ring. It's just Charlotte and Sasha are on a whole nother level. This was more of a showcase for Charlotte and Sasha Banks for those who have not been watching NXT. And why haven't you been watching NXT? I don't know, but you should. It's on the network. It's only $10 a month. Get that shit so you can watch NXT like a champ. But yeah, this was an excellent match. Sasha and Charlotte looked fan-fucking-tastic. Brie was okay too. I mean, she tried to do Daniel Bryan's yes kicks, but they just didn't look as sharp or as painful as her husband, so she tried. But nonetheless, Charlotte makes Brie tap out with the figure 8. Not the figure 4, the figure 8. It's just like the figure 4, just twice as good. So yeah, that was great. Next up, we have one of the 2 main events of the evening. Kevin Owens, John Cena, the U.S. title match, the rubber match. This was a pretty good match. This was a good match to enter into the trilogy. It wasn't as good as the second match, but I'm still saying I like this match. It's worthy to be put up in that same bracket as the previous 2 matches, just not as good as the second match. So there's that. It was a good match. It was a great match. Both of them pulled it out, as always, but in the end, John Cena wins. I know a lot of people are out there saying they have no problem with Cena winning because Owens made him work for it. I know people are saying that this just helps him look good, but really, I honestly think that Cena could have taken the loss tonight. Considering that Owens has pretty much had his number from day one, and that he's been pushing Cena to his limit, it would have been perfectly fine for him to have taken the loss. and moved on to something else. But that's just my opinion. What do I know? Next up, we would have had an Intercontinental title match between Ryback against The Miz and The Big Show, but if you haven't heard already, Ryback is currently sidelined with an injury because earlier this weekend, it turns out that he had a staph infection in his knee, and they had to drain several ounces of liquid from it. And he's on antibiotics, so the good thing they caught it in time because staph infections can be quite lethal. And there's a lot of irony in this situation that Ryback gets a staph infection and they catch it immediately. So I'm not going to say anything, just putting it out there. But nevertheless, we don't have a match. Miz just comes out, cuts a promo, talks about St. Louis, talks about how awesome he is, talks about the Big Show. Big Show comes out dressed up in slacks, comes in, knocks him the fuck out, and leaves. It was short, pointless, and a piss break just to calm people down. Finally, the main event. Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar. The World Championship on the line. This was pretty much what you'd expect it to be. This was just a brutal beating. Sure, Seth got some offense in by trying to take out his legs, but this was Brock Lesnar's match. He destroyed poor Seth Rollins. Absolutely annihilated him. Seth tried to run, and Lesnar, like something out of a Predator movie, just runs and leaps clean over the barricade and then throws him back in the ring. That was a fantastic spot. I love that. It was something simple, but it was enough to show you that Brock Lesnar was a friggin' superhuman. But yeah, the count was 13 suplexes. That's right. I think it's a little bit less than Roman Reigns eating about, 10 or 11 suplexes? I don't know. But not almost to the record of the 16 that he gave John Cena last year. So, with Seth completely at his mercy, the Beast decides to end it with an F5, and then, boom, the lights go out. And out comes The Undertaker. I completely forgot that The Undertaker was in this. I completely forgot that the rumor was that The Undertaker was at Battleground tonight. A lot of people assumed that meant that he was going to finally challenge Sting, and we were finally going to have our match at Survivor at SummerSlam, Sting versus The Undertaker, Icon versus Phenom, but instead he appears in the ring and fights Brock Lesnar. The match is foobarred at that point, but the fans and pretty much myself are marking out like bastards as The Undertaker takes down the Beast and gives him tombstone after tombstone after tombstone to get revenge. And we leave it with Brock Lesnar laid out in the ring, and The Undertaker leaves triumphantly in hand. So, that was, what I thought about the end of the match, sorry if it's a little blurry, but what I thought about the match, it went like I expected it to go, because there was no conceivable reason that Brock, if you heard the WrestleCast episode just past a couple of days ago when I was on, and I already told them what I thought what was supposed to happen. I told them that Seth was going to retain, but through shenanigans or foobar or some other means, because there was no way in God's green earth that Seth Rollins was going to beat Brock Lesnar clean. Brock Lesnar has been too strongly booked since his return to lose cleanly to anyone, especially to Seth Rollins. Seth has not shown him to be capable of beating Brock Lesnar, at least the way he's been booked. Now, I'm not saying he's a bad wrestler. I'm not saying that. He's fantastic in the ring. It's just that they have built him up to be the cowardly heel, that he doesn't have any credibility on him beating anyone in this kind of matchup by himself. Totally. But so I'm kind of glad for this, because the match ends in foobar that Seth retains, which is good, but Brock didn't lose. It was interrupted by the dead man. So I'm kind of okay with this. That might change by tomorrow night. I don't know. This is just my fresh feelings about the matter. I don't know, but as it stands right now, how I feel, I like this. This is good. I like it. So, that was Battleground. My thoughts? It was an okay pay-per-view. The beginnings were kind of slow, to say the least. The Divas match was amazing. Despite my misgivings about the ending of Cena Owens, it was still a fantastic matchup. And the main event went just like I thought it would. Seth retains, but not through traditional means. But Brock still looks strong because he didn't take a pin or submission. So we have that going for him. The mystique doesn't get broken. Anything it adds to the mystique, since the Undertaker is going to interfere in Brock's matchup. I don't know if this is going to lead to Brock versus Undertaker again, but we'll just have to see how it plays out in the next couple of days or the next week or so. So, if you like what you see, link, comment, subscribe below. Got any questions or comments or just want to talk about tonight, leave them below. I'll answer each and every one of them right for you. Also, if you're a One Piece fan or a fan of anime in general, or just want to understand what One Piece is like, check out my countdown to Pirate Warriors 3 series, where I profile all the playable characters for the upcoming video game One Piece Pirate Warriors 3. If you want to support the channel, just give a nice little hit to that like button down there, or click one of the advertisements scattered around the video. They really do help out. Or if you want to donate directly, hey, tip jar's up there. I could buy a taco with it. So until next time, this is shintigercurl, that dude in the straw hat, saying good day or good night, and rest in peace.